Hey guys, I'm going to be giving you a full guide to Sell Lemons and how you can progress extremely fast inside of the game and all the tips and tricks that you need to know inside of this game. This is going to be for beginners and intermediate players and then some advanced players, obviously. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. So the very first thing that you should note when you join into this game is your whole goal, obviously, is to progress super far in the game. So let's first talk about what you guys need to do and some tips for success. So the very first thing that a lot of people don't know is when you are upgrading and stuff like that, if you click this little mystery mark button down here, it will tell you what things you haven't quite bought yet. And this is very important because if you're kind of stuck and you don't know why, you can see places that you haven't bought yet that you can. And then obviously you can go from there to upgrade. The next thing is if you go up here, you can, if you've unlocked powers, which I'll talk about that in a second, how you kind of unlock that, how you ascend, all those different things. But you'll see that there's a bunch of things like managing. Managing makes it super easy to see how much you're making per second. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you may not have this yet. So that's completely fine. And that's totally normal. So, all right, let's talk about progression overall. So you want to progress extremely fast. The best thing to do is make sure you're getting alien investors while you can. Now, as you guys can see, alien investors are pretty much to get your first rebirth. What you're going to need to know is that I think you have to unlock like halfway through this tower and you have to get the SX currency. And that's when you'll be able to, basically this alien will fly down over to your base right here. And basically what you're going to want to do is like right now for me, I could just invest again and I would progress even faster, but I'm going to wait a bit before I do that. Basically the strat is waiting until right here. He's going to say in parentheses, that's a lot. And that's kind of when you know when to do it because that's going to be a big enough bonus. So this will pop down right here. This is where you'll rebirth. He'll pop down here for the first time. There'll be a cutscene and everything. So this is the first spot that you'll actually go to do that. All right. The next thing to know is obviously this says right here, each investor gives 1% more cash and we have 15,000 of these. So we're getting 15,000% more cash. And then when I rebirth again, it's going to be 128,000. Now you can obviously buy the 2x2 bonus, but a lot of people don't actually know. But if you go down in these sewers, there is a whole thing that you can do to actually increase this to 2% more cash for completely free without paying any Robux, without paying anything. There's full guides on it. I have a full guide on it. I'll have a full guide on how to unlock this as well later on, but it's a whole thing. And you can see who has the most cash, who has the most fruits picked, which I'll explain how you get fruits picked and all that stuff here in a second. But yeah, there is this whole sewer underground thing that a lot of people don't actually know about. So make sure you go ahead and do that to get that extra bonus. Now, obviously you can only get that bonus once you actually have an alien event. You sense an ancient force watching you. So this right here is going to be evolutions, I believe. As you can see, this is going to spawn in right here. And this is how you also get evolutions. And I will be unlocking that soon. Obviously it's not fully unlocked quite yet. It's just sitting right here, but this is going to be evolutions, which is how you get more fruits. Now that's not actually even my base, which is probably why I can't interact with it. So I'm going to run all the way back over here. Yeah, that's probably the reason why I couldn't interact with it. I was at the wrong base. Okay, well, I guess just haven't been able to unlock it quite yet, but evolutions is the next thing that you do. And that's going to give you different fruits. So that is progression later on in the game. All right. So another thing that a lot of people miss out on and is super, super beneficial is actually the mini game. So if I go over here, you'll see that there's a mini game right here. And what you can do with mini games is you can essentially just make money super easily. So I bet on this guy right here, and then you can basically cheer for them. I don't really know if cheering does anything. I'm just going to use an auto clicker and spam it. It looks like one is winning right now, but it could end up losing. So just spamming cheer. And as you can see, I believe it came in first. So we'll get a pretty good amount of money, a pretty good money boost. So yeah, you won right here. Let's see how much money we actually get. So 8.5 octillion, pretty good because I'm kind of a little stuck right now until I rebirth again. But yeah, and then the next thing that I was actually just about to mention is this right here. This is super beneficial. It's kind of a little bit like gambling because you're just kind of see how much more you can push them before it says no. I'm just going to click perfect and get another 6 octillion. We're almost at 200,000 investors, which is pretty good. Obviously, I'm not super duper far where I have tons of evolutions, tons of ascensions, all of that different stuff. So after evolutions, there's a new thing called ascensions, which basically resets your whole progress for everything, but you get a permanent upgrade, which means you can buy the best upgrade and keep it permanently, which will help you rebirth faster and faster inside of the game. So doing the mini games is very, very important. A lot of people just completely overlook those, but you need to be doing the mini games. If you're not, you're completely missing out on just free cash that you don't really have to do anything for. And honestly, I'm going to rebirth in a second once it hits 200,000 to kind of show you how quickly the progression will speed up. Because right now I'm kind of locked up there. I can't really do too much. And it's because I need to rebirth again. And as you can see, this is going to go up probably over 2,000% speed because I'm, going to be pretty much. So I'll show you guys in a second. And then I'll obviously show you some more tips that I recommend. All right. So while that's running up, another thing that I highly recommend is once you have enough investors, go to your powers. And I'm going to buy the run faster. I'm going to upgrade that. But that is so I can do the stack upgrade. And then I can also do remote buy, which is what after I rebirth, I'm going to buy, because remote buy allows you to not have to run around to all of these things and upgrade them every single time. So you can kind of automate it a lot easier. So you definitely want to get remote buy. This is getting really close to 200,000. As you can see, we just spent over 1,000 investors, but upgrading these is very, very important because now we're going to be able to remote buy, and I'll show you how well that's going to do. So there's a ton in here, and these are what the forever purchases are. And essentially you get these for free once you ascend. So ascending is super important. I haven't ascended yet, but if you spend Robux, you can literally just keep one of these upgrades forever. So now I'm basically just waiting for this to hit 200,000. 200,000. Honestly, I'll just rebirth now. Actually, I'll wait a little bit more because we're going up pretty quickly until we're at around 200,000 because that's a pretty good rate to go at. So I'm just going to wait. We're almost there. All right, now that we're almost there, I'm going to just wait. We're going to watch the countdown together, but that is going to make it extremely easy to actually go ahead and rebirth. Like I said, make sure you're using this as well to get money. But honestly, we're about to lose it all, so it doesn't matter. So boom, and 200,000. Let's go ahead and rebirth. That's a whole lot. So that's kind of what you're looking for. That's how you know it's a good time to rebirth, when it says that's a whole lot. Boom, we just rebirthed, and now you're going to see in a second how quickly we're going to level up. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to go to my powers, and I'm going to, I can't buy remote buy yet, I guess, for some reason, but that's going to be very important. But now, as you can see, I bought this stacking thing. So now if I go here, I click this, as you can see, off the rip, we get 4,000 instead of a little bit. And then if we upgrade this like so, now we're getting 200,000 off the rip. Then we'll buy a manager and then buy all of this stuff, upgrade this even more. And then the thing about this is we can go into, we can make it +5. So now we're just buying +5 upgrades each time, which is why it's upgrading so fast. Now we're getting 3 billion. Now we need to go through and buy all of these really fast. And you'll see the progression is just increasing so rapidly. And then we have the 1.5 speed now, so we can run faster as well. We're getting literally trillions now. And you can see the upgrading is way faster, so you don't have to sit here and click as long, but I will use an auto clicker for some parts of it. So look at how quickly we're already in the trillions. We've done pretty much just about nothing, and we'll upgrade this even more until we're getting, you know, a couple quadrillion or something. Boom. We're getting 1 septillion off of the start. So that's very, very broken, obviously. And then we'll continue to buy all these upgrades around the base. Now, the reason why remote buy is so good is because I'm not going to have to do this every time. So let's see, can we actually buy remote buy yet? So we still cannot buy remote buy. I could just buy it with Robux, but we're not here to pay to win. This is the free progression guide. So go ahead and buy all these, but you can see the benefit of rebirthing is quite important to this game because it's going to make you level up a heck of a ton faster. We'll also upgrade this guy as well. Now he's making, yeah, as you can see, he's making septillions now. New income source. So like I said, we're easily able to buy these. We're in the octillion right now, guys, which is what we were stuck at a second ago. And we don't even have any of those upgrades over there. So that just goes to show you how beneficial this will be for you. Boom, buy that. So yeah, you guys can see I'm leveling up with pretty much no trouble now after rebirthing. And that's kind of how evolutions work. And then obviously ascensions. So now we're kind of breezing through all this like it's nothing, because it is. So yeah, those are definitely things. Make sure you're using this indicator so you know what to buy. Definitely make sure you're rebirthing, which you get at when you kind of unlock that tower over there. Make sure you're doing all of that. Make sure you're upgrading, and then make sure you obviously use the sewer keys to get higher investors, because essentially what's going to happen is when I unlock that investor, it's going to literally multiply this all by 2, because instead of having it 1% more cash, it's going to be 2% more cash. So you can see my investors are going up pretty quickly down there as well now. So as you can see, we're making a ridiculous amount of cash very, very quickly. We can just go through and run through and buy all these. But yeah, that is kind of a base progression guide to this game, or just like tips that you need to use to level up faster, because this is going to severely like make you make more money way faster. So yeah, make sure you're doing this, guys. Anyways, that's pretty much it. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like, comment your username down below. I'm doing giveaways like always, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.